Is there a particular scene that you looked at when you watched the film where you're like, that worked exactly the way that I hoped? Like, that was perfect.
Yeah, there's one scene that was very hard to do and very difficult also to convince everybody to do it, which is when we have a very, very low sun and they're going to eat the piranhas. And remember, they fish the piranhas and they're going to eat it at night.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very, low light sunset that lasts for hours. So we shot that at 2 a.m. in the tank, at 2 a.m. at night in the tank, because, so it was shot at night, and then I had to light, with huge sun, side sun, and then that was very challenging, because to convince everybody that we are going to do a night shoot of an afternoon or a sunset scene, that was hard. But I think it came out pretty nice. It came out pretty nice, and you really think you're in a boat, which is impossible because that hour of the day takes 20 to 30 minutes. And with this kind of cast, it's impossible to shoot a scene in 20 to 30 minutes, as you know. So that was very challenging, but we were very proud of how it came out and how also, as I said, the visual effects companies and the supervisors and everybody just helped us and made all the plates look like we were actually in the Amazon, on sunset. Yeah.
So I want to make sure I'm understanding. This tank that you're shooting in is open air. This is not like in a studio. So you're in a water tank, right?
In a parking lot. In a parking lot.
Okay. So you're in a parking lot in Atlanta, in a water tank, open air. So you don't have the luxuries of being in a studio and being able to control light the same way. So you have all the inconvenience of shooting outside, but all the pressures of shooting CGI, big type studio films. That's interesting because and I just want to make sure that that's clear to the listeners that aren't, watching this or seeing references as they're hearing. That's a really fine line to be balancing on, to have to do so much of what seems to be in studio outside.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about it is that I had to design the tank. So we built the tank ourselves. So we went and we built the tank. So, we did the study of the sun and what was going to be at 7 a.m, at 8, at 9, at 10. So we actually designed the tank in which we had all the possibilities of shooting in the morning, these scenes, in the afternoon, these scenes, and at midday we would normally don't shoot big scenes. We'll shoot maybe, much more portraits. But, we designed the whole movie pretty much on a table, on doing homework, doing just planification, and saying, okay, we build the set in Hawaii, also thinking about the tank. So we actually built the whole city in Hawaii. So with Pusos, who was the production designer, also we built it around the sun. So when we had the boat, we'd be around the sun. It was mostly like a mathematic idea. But, it took a long time. But, it came out pretty nice. And most of the times, as I said, we succeed, and a lot of times we didn't. A lot of times was too ambitious, or things happens with the schedule, or things happens with that, and you can actually tell. I can actually tell which ones have been kind of not as good as the other ones. But at the same time, when a budget like this, we were actually designing how to build a village, and how to build a tank, and how to build an interior in Hawaii. So there was a lot of really fantastic things in there. I don't think it's going to happen many times in your life, but we actually, with Pusos and Jauma and the production designer and Jauma and me, and we just actually figure out, in which direction you're going to. We're going to build a harbor, for example. In this direction, you're going to put the cantina, the famous cantina where they Proxima. So that was all, as I said, it was a lot of specific prep and very leveraged prep, and that's the mood. How can we come out, But again, a lot of most of the interiors were shot in Atlanta, except the ones that were shot in Hawaii. Like the whole tavern, for example, the whole background of the tavern was the hotel. So we actually designed, window by window, where it's going to look behind.
Wow.
And they built it. We're going to build it this way. And they went and built it. So, as I said, I think it's never going to happen again. But but
I
was
love
fun.
that.
Was fun.
I
I
love
mean,
that.
you know, it's huge constructions. I mean, the tank was huge. I mean, it was 100 foot by 60 feet or something. So it was a huge
I would
tank.
love to see pictures of that. I'm sure they're somewhere. If you
Oh,
have
yeah.
any you can share, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I have some. Yeah, and we did, for example, we did tank at night. You know, we had all the submarine at night attacking, and the submarine was inside of the tank, and you know, the whole thing was over scale. I would say. You know.